One of the things that is very important that we need to work on practicing when we're working on handgun skills is we need to work on practicing left-handed drills, particularly with right, or I don't want to say left-handed drills, let me back that up. We need to practice weak hand drills. Most people like me, right-handed. I know there's a lot of lefties out there, and one of the things that we often forget to do is practice shooting left hand only. We forget that there have been many, many, many cases where an officer or an armed citizen drew their firearm. And by the way, this firearm is empty. You can look right there, visual, physical, and functional check. This is Springfield XD 45. A police officer draws a weapon, draws a firearm, got it on target. For whatever reason, takes a shot to this arm. This arm is now unable to be used, and the left hand now has to engage only, not left hand with the support, but left hand only. And some of the drills that we should know how to do with our left hand, number one, of course, just basic marksmanship. Are we holding the gun the same way with our left hand that we do with our right, and that's with the web of the hand, grabbing the firearm correctly, shooting, if we shot one-handed with right-handed, it looked like this. Are we grabbing it with the web of our hand, holding it properly? Is our trigger, are we maintaining trigger control the same way we'd maintain trigger control, pulling all the way back, not just releasing, but doing the follow-through with our shot? All that's important shooting left-handed. Also, the other thing that we need to think about is, can we do a one-handed reload? If the gun is in this condition, we've shot to empty, and how would we reload with one hand if this hand is totally out of commission? And there are a multitude of ways to do that. There are some folks who place the gun in between their legs, reach for a full magazine and do that. Others stick the gun up underneath their arm. That's possible, depending, again, this gun is unloaded. If I stick the gun underneath my arm, I reach back for an empty magazine, or in this case would be a full magazine. I re-engage it into the here. I hear the click. If I need to, I can hit it against my body to refill. I can push down and reload here, or if the slide were locked back, I could reach down. I could hook it to something on me, whether it be my belt, and it would let the slide forward, and then I would be ready to engage. Other things you can do, not only can you stick the gun between your legs, not only can you stick it here, you can also stick the gun in between your, I'll use a camera to demonstrate this. If you were to take the gun, go down to one knee like this, putting the gun in between your knee and your leg, you can then take the magazine out, seat the magazine here, come up with the gun, hook it to whatever, have the slide go forward. Now you're ready to re-engage with that firearm. Again, these are just basic things that you should be able to do one-handed, whether it's on your leg, under your arm. I've seen some guys stick it here. Not sure I would do that, especially if the gun was hot. You may feel that tenderness here. If you've been shooting it, the slide is hot, you stick that underneath the neck, you go, ow, you let go. Obviously, this is not where I would want my firearm anyway, underneath my chin. They're just, depending on what you want to do, but you've got to hold the gun somewhere. If you've only got one hand, you've got to reach for that empty magazine. So consider that. Consider different places to hold it. Some people may say, well, this is not safe, or it's not safe to go into the leg. You know what? You may have to go down. You may have to set the gun on the ground, or if you're at a table, if you're behind cover, which hopefully you would be, if you were in a situation for your life, you would seek cover, get behind cover, set the gun on the ground, reach back, grab a full magazine, slide it in, turn the gun up, seat it, come up here, you can let the slide release forward, and now you're good to go. Whatever you decide to do, just remember you need to train this, because this can happen to you. This is something that is not something that is very unique. In fact, there was a police officer in Florida. Her name was Jennifer. I believe it's Fulford, but I'll put the link in the YouTube video. A lady by the name of Jennifer, police officer, was in a firefight. She was struck on her strong side, ended up having to shoot only with her left hand. She reloaded only left-handed, and that reload is what ultimately saved her life. And she attributes her training, being forced to do left-hand reloads as many times as they had them do that, as what saved her life. So think about that. Also think about left-handed, or again, weak side drawing. If you have your pistol and your pistol is in your holster, this is not my concealed carry holster, this is just the holster that came with the gun. But if this is pretty much where I would naturally carry this, maybe a little further back, how would I get to it? If this hand was being used for something, how would I get to it with this hand? One of the ways is, if you're a slimmer guy, you can actually reach the gun. If you're bigger like me, you grab a hold of the belt, you pull the belt around, and then you grab the gun. If you have to pull it out, can I shoot it from here? No. I'd have to turn the gun around and fire. Is that something I should train? Absolutely. I should know how to do that. I should know how to get to my gun and do everything I need to do weekend only. And I should train that hard. Because if you don't train weekend, remember, the thing that you don't train is the thing that's going to bite you in the behind. That's what's going to save your life one day. You've trained this, just like Jennifer said, the police officer Jennifer, it saved her life because she actually trained it. Left hand only. Weekend only. Train, train, train. Right hand, yes, of course. You want to train good, solid marksmanship skills. Be able to reload. Do all these things fast. But you know what? You should be able to do the same thing with the other hand. You should be able to do all the things that you need to do here. Be able to, one hand, cycle the slide. How do you do that? Use the rear sight, hooking onto the close, slide it down. You can cycle the slide all the way with your belt, pant loop. You can even do it on the back of your shoe. If you have to get down to do that, shove the gun down the back of your shoe. It pulls it back by the rear sight, and you're good to go. All right, here's a little example, left-handed shooting practice. I'm going to begin by shooting 5 rounds, standard left hand. My right hand will be injured. My strong hand is injured, so I'm going to hold it to my chest. I'm going to shoot left-handed, and then I'm going to do a reload, and I'm going to do it by taking the gun. I'm going to drop to one knee, put it in the crook of my knee, slide the magazine in. I'm going to stand up, rechamber, go forward. So, all right. There's no one behind the camera, by the way, so this is safe. All right, my right hand is injured, my left hand, my weak hand. I engage the target. All right, my gun is empty. I can drop the magazine, drop to one knee, slam this behind here, run my magazine into it, come back up. I can work the slide with my finger. I'm back up. And there, I did everything with my left hand that I would need to do in a self-protection situation. The majority of those were in the A marker of the target. Wasn't shooting super fast, but I was shooting accurately enough to where I could engage a target if I needed to. All happened with just a few seconds, all done with my left hand. You can do that, you can practice that, you can do it with empty magazines, but I recommend, if you have a range to do it somewhere where you can go and actually practice live, just like I just did, so that you'll be able to practice and actually know how it feels to stick gun in there, reload with live ammo. Don't pull the slide forward until you pulled it away from your leg. That way you don't shoot yourself in the leg, of course. You come back up, slide the slide forward, engage the target.